Welcome to the SHT podcast. This podcast is created by superhumans, for superhumans, and anyone else who wants to look, feel, and perform like a freaking badass. Your holistic health journey starts here. Rediscover how we...
Yeah!
Paul, sit your ass down.
All right, we are rolling.
Hello.
All right, cool. So Sonia and I wanted to jump on here and talking about some practical learning points from our meditation and mindfulness practice. And I thought this was something that might be useful for people to hear. It's like a little real-world example of something, how we used it, right? So I would say that the main topic of this little mini episode is going to be the importance of communication, clear communication, open, honest communication, embracing conflict, which conflict sounds like it has a negative connotation, but it's actually where all the magic happens. And then also having the difficult conversations that most of us want to avoid, because out of that, if you care about someone, then there's magic stuff that comes out of it, you know? So just to preface the thing or set it up, I just remember, you know, we've just had this really good thing going on with the podcast and helping with videos and just being a part of our community. Like, you've just been absolutely amazing. And then there were some times that I noticed in the gym, I guess I say the gym because that's where I usually notice you, is like I just noticed something a little bit different. And I couldn't tell what the heck it was. And I just assumed maybe it was what was going on with your puppy, or maybe it was a little bit more. And then I just remember asking you one morning, I said, hey, are you still happy with everything that we're doing and what's going on? And I just saw something in your face. And it was like, I was like, all right, so let's schedule some time to talk. Let's sit down and talk. Let's figure it out. And I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea what was going on. And so that's what we did. We scheduled some time to sit and talk, and I learned some things. Yeah.
Right. And I did too.
So what happened was we had a little, and just, you know, stop me if I'm messing this up.
No, you're good.
So we had a video that we were recording, and it was a podcast. It was a Cured Meats one.
Yes.
And we showed up at the parking lot, and we were going to go down to Cured Way, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do that day. I kind of changed my mind, which I do a lot, right? Because, you know, it's not necessarily justifying or rationalizing, but I have so many things going on. Sometimes I'm just like, I change my mind, and I'm trying to get better at that. But anyway, you show up, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I want to do, and I think we want to go down here, but we could also do this. And I still do that. Like, I'm always asking for your opinion. Like, what do you think? Should we do this? You know, I like the feedback because I want to make people happy. I want to make you happy. But anyway, so, you know, we had a hard time figuring that out. I think we got lost, or I messed up the directions going there. Something else happened. We got into some traffic. Forgot my wallet. So
no, but even before then, I got flustered.
Yeah.
Like, I looked
before
at
you got there.
Before, like when we talked, and you're like, okay, let's go down to Kieran Way, and and I was just like, had so much building up in me that I just started tearing up, and you didn't know why.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, well, it was the stress of the puppy, you know. And I told you that, and I was like, you know, if I didn't have this sick puppy at home, like, I'd be fine. Like, I could leave my house for 8 hours a day. I would not mind. Yeah. But it was like leaving him for a certain amount of time that I was just like on edge.
Yeah, edge. And then here I am. I'm not sure what I want to do. And then I get lost. I forget my wallet. I wanted to pick up. So the reason we were going to Cured Way was so that we could buy charcuterie for the Cured video.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I got my wallet. I got to go back. I was actually waiting for you to say, I'll just buy it and you pay me back. I was like, yeah. But you took a little bit, and you eventually did. And so then we go through that whole thing and process. We shot the video, which I thought was really great. It's one of our more fun videos. I always feel really comfortable shooting videos with you. But
they're fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that happened. Oh, but at some point in there, you said, I was like, what's going on? What's up? And you're like, I just need things to be a little bit more structured. And I think you're kind of hinting to the fact that I could change what I thought I wanted to do, and then my response to that was something along the lines of, what did I say? I can't remember.
It was something along the lines of, well, you're just gonna have to get used to it, but in a
lighthearted way.
Yes,
not a mean way. But it was basically like, look, I'm trying to empower the planet here. We're doing some crazy stuff, so you just need to get used to it, because like I don't know that that's going to change or something like that, right?
Right.
So then, we go about our lives, and then here we are a few weeks later, and that has festered.
It sat and it
rubbed you
festered.
the wrong way, and it festered, and so that's what came out of this little discussion in my office, was that response that I gave to you just really kind of just like
and I told you,
put you down,
put my wall up,
put your wall up, and then I just remember, you understand, like I'm really trying to do a good thing here, like I really am, and your face was just like, I was like, what is going on,
right?
And that's how that came out, right? So what else? Is there anything else in that we were? I mean, I got like our main learning points that we have here, but it was good to talk it out. I think it was uncomfortable initially. Like I think we both started to tear up a little bit because there was like I had this fear of like I lost someone that was like a huge part of what we're doing, and I lost someone's belief in me, and I really wasn't sure why that was happening. And I think you had a fear of
I was losing a friend and losing a community,
and that whole thing. So it was easier for you or to pretend like there was nothing bothering you.
Yes.
And but I could see it. And maybe in that conversation, it would have been easier to not say the things that were on our minds.
Right.
But we had the intestinal fortitude to sit there and actually talk this stuff out.
Yeah. And that's what we're getting at with all of this, with that situation being said, is getting to the point where we just needed to communicate it out, and we needed to say what was on our mind instead of me festering it and then thinking the worst, and that's where this is kind of our mindfulness at practice podcast is I just let it fester and then I let my head do the thinking for me instead of actually talking it out with you.
Yeah. And I think I made a really good point several times throughout that to say, it's okay because I do this too. Yeah. We all do this, right? We all have a situation that triggers us or rubs us the wrong way. And then it changes the way that we interact or perceive or something with this other person or group of people or whatever. It's just that now that we're in this world, we have to learn to see it so that we can work with it, but it's like, what you experience with that is exactly what we all experience. It's exactly why we have to do this deep work because we want to see that stuff happen. There's no reason for you and me not to have this relationship that we have because I said something and you took it in a not so great way.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like I need to learn from that. I can't be going around saying, hey, you know what? You guys just deal with my schedule and my craziness and changing plans and stuff because that's just the way it is. That's not the right thing for me to say. So that was one of the things that I learned from that. I was like, if I want you on my team and I need you to help me, I need to be aware of the things that you need or at least try to meet you, along the path and do better with it. So that was a big wake-up call for me. I think that was really insensitive for me to say it. I didn't mean it insensitive, but I think it was, looking back, it was probably not the best response. Just say, it'd be like me being in a relationship with a girl and just being like, hey, you know what, just get used to it. Like, I'm not going to change. Like, that's not the best way to be.
I would deal with that.
Yeah.
But it was super important to see both of our, I wouldn't say downfalls, but what we said or did wrong,
Yeah.
It was very important to see that. And I think that's where this all comes into play is that you're noticing it, even though it took us a conversation and a half to get there, we got there,
Oh yeah. It was great too. Cause we were like tears hugging and all that stuff. So if we had to have some learning points out of this, I kind of made some notes here. I would say, I thought it was really beautiful, especially at your age. I mean, how old are you?
25.
Yeah, 25. I'm 44. Okay. At your age, just to have this awareness of yourself. And like, if I would have had this kind of awareness when I was your age, like, I don't even know where, if I'd have found real food, if I'd have found CrossFit, if I'd have found meditation, mindfulness, like, I don't even know where I'd be right now. We'd be like a Charles Branson SHT, but anyway, yeah, we are getting there, but just be open to have personal self-introspection.
Yeah.
And have compassion for other people. If someone, and I guess this is also within the context of if you're dealing with someone that you care about, right?
Yep.
Like if you're dealing with like a complete jerk that does not resonate with you at all, like that's different.
Right.
You don't have to force yourself to, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's great to set boundaries, but here we are, two people that care about each other, that have genuine intentions. If you have someone that is in that circle of people that you know is good people and a friend, and something they do or say rubs you the wrong way, try to have some kind of compassion, understand they're doing the best they can with what they have. And maybe you interpreted it wrong. You could assume the best in what they're trying to say or do, and just understand they're trying to work with this stuff just like you're trying to work with it. And the best thing you can possibly do is if something's bothering you, just try to have a conversation.
Right.
And then and the chances are you're going to come out of that like, oh, okay, now I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I had no idea.
Right. And you're going to come out of it even stronger within that relationship. So now in the future, if that happens again, you can sit down and say, hey, same situation. Mm-hmm. I don't think you meant it this way or blah, whatever. Mm-hmm. Let's talk it out, you know? So yeah.
And you can be more aware of the things that makes that person tick. So like now I know. If I show up and say the same exact thing, I know now, like, so let's talk about learning points just to finish that up. And then let's talk about some things that actually came out of that, right? Another thing I think is beneficial to try to move towards is losing your expectations of other people. That goes both of us, everybody, right? Because if I have an expectation of someone that is different from what they are, I'm resisting who they are. Right. And I want them to be something different than who they are. And so I think what's a better, more helpful attitude toward that is let people be who they are, while at the same time understanding that doesn't mean that we can't try to move them in a direction of improving. Right. You know, so having these conversations to say, this is what I need, this is how what you said affected me, this is how that way that you act, I know you don't mean anything by it, something like that. Like you start to move towards making each other a little bit happier, I think. Right. And then just assuming the best in other people, especially if it's someone that you care about, you know. So I also made some points of some positive things that came out of this, right? Yeah. So we both admitted that we have more knowledge about ourselves and what we need to make us happy, what makes us tick, right? Now we are having meetings
and I
for our
love
executive
them.
team. Yeah. So, you know, I communicate with the people that help us on a regular basis. Right. And in my mind, I'm like, that's fine. We don't have to have like group meetings because like I'm talking to, you know, Ashley and Kelly and you and Kat and all them, like, you know, I'm doing that, but I'm like, what I realized is we do need to have these little meetings where we get together and we share our thoughts and we have these very open discussions and even critical discussions and things we disagree about, because that's very helpful to make this thing grow. So I'm very thankful for that. And even just having the meeting that we did afterwards, I was like, you know what, we do need to have these things for this thing to move, you know, for this thing to grow. Less weight on our shoulders about losing some, you know, like instead of noticing this little something that's going on, this tension, like, why is she like that with me in the gym? I don't know what's going on. You know, did I do something? Did I say something? Then you even said that you would come in and be like, I wonder how they think about that. Are they talking about me? I can't, you know, something like that. Well, you lose all that because you just, hey, what's going on? I can see it in your face. Right. Like, let's sit down. I care about you.
Paul, the minute we were done discussing it, I even told you, I was like, I feel like 40 pounds just got dropped off my shoulders. Yep. You know. Yep.
So, and then final thing is, let's just make a plug for meditation, because that's where we cultivate this skill, you know, whether we catch it right away or we catch it, you know, 10 days later or 10 months later, at some point, if you can catch yourself being caught up and critical and judgmental, you know, whatever the heck you want to call all that stuff, when you can catch it, then you have a chance to work with it. Then you have a chance to reframe it, you know, assume the best in the other person, see yourself in the other person. You know, there's a million different ways to try to reframe that, but the first step is awareness, and that's what we do with meditation. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. Yep. Thanks for doing meetings now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, I love it. Yep. This is where the work comes in, and this is actually how it plays out. You know, you're not as impulsive, you're not as emotionally driven, you have a right mind, and that's where mindfulness comes in. So it's wonderful.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Paul. Love you. Enjoy, everyone. Hope you loved it.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, so remember, the purpose of this podcast is to support our SHT community and to be in your ear as a go-to resource for all things SHT.
If any of you have fallen off, if you need support, honestly, just come back and listen to some of these episodes. Get re-inspired, get re-motivated, and get re-engaged. If you're new to us, the best way to get started is by joining our newsletter at SHT4life.com.
That's SHT, the number 4, life.com. And you can also find us on Facebook at Superhuman Transformation, and then on Instagram, Superhuman Transformation, which you're doing an amazing job with.
Thank you.
And then also Twitter, it's SHT, the number 4, life. I think that's all we got.
See ya.